Już od wczesnych godzin rolnicy,
From the early hours of this morning, Polish farmers, hunters, workers' unions, miners, beekeepers and all those who support this protest began to congregate around the Palace of Culture in Warsaw to be ready to march through the Polish capital to the Prime Minister's office, escalating their month-long strike which started in early February. We didn't come here for the farmers. We came to raise awareness among the city folk. People need to understand that if we do not have our own source of food, if we are dependent on another nation for it, then we are a weak nation. Farmers have set two conditions for the government if they are to abandon their protests. A halt to the implementation of the European Green Deal, which aims, among other things, to eliminate family farms, and in trade with Ukraine, a return to the status quo of 2021, that is, to the state before the Russian invasion. According to the Solidarity Agricultural Union, the government is only holding talks from which nothing comes. Farmers believe that it is deliberately playing for time, as the first fieldwork begins in March and farmers will have to leave the protest to tend to their farms. Adding fuel to the fire is the Prime Minister's decision to declare border crossings with Ukraine as critical infrastructure, which could result in the forcible dispersal of protests. It's about finding a solution as soon as possible so these protests may end. Farmers don't want to be out on the streets for months on end. We want to return to a situation in which farming can be profitable in this country. The protests have been going on continuously since the 9th of February on roads, transport hubs, railway tracks, at port entrances and at border crossings with Ukraine. The NSZZ Solidarity, hunters, beekeepers have recently joined the protest. Miners also came to Warsaw. We can't allow this. For the consecutive liquidation of everything from farming to cars to our freedom, next they'll take our homes. I don't know what the plan is, but looking at how the rest of the world is developing, there's nothing to wait for. We need to be here. For the time being, we've been flooded with Ukrainian honey, but there are rules on the table that will destroy our industry. This is affecting us now, but it won't hit the cities for another couple of years. Then it will be too late. People have to wake up now. Parliament Speaker Szymon Hołownia met delegates of protesting farmers. The talks ended in failure. In turn, talks at the Prime Minister's office were broken off by the farmers. We're not retreating. We have no intention to do so. As I say, we came here to fight for farmers and consumers so that Polish food comes to Polish tables and that this food is always good and healthy. Consumers, please realise that we are the only guarantee that you will have access to quality and healthy food. Minister Kołodziejczak has sold out now. He is only a legend now. We stood behind him, but now he's gone in another direction. Among the assumptions of the Green Deal is a requirement to keep fallow 4% of the land and flood 400,000 hectares. This will radically reduce the area under cultivation, and as a result there will be simply less food. The European Commission's plans also call for a radical reduction in the use of pesticides. In a while, other social groups may join this. We are already hearing about other branches that will be affected by climate neutrality, this energy transition, and I think that in the perspective of the next few years we will see more of such protests on the streets of European cities. Protests are underway across the country as part of the 30-day general strike. The next such large protest in Warsaw is scheduled for next week during the sitting of the Sejm. Łukasz Smuda, TV Republika.